Mortgage fraud and the fabrication of legal documents. The housing crisis exposed widespread mortgage fraud where banks resorted to fabricating documents to establish legal ownership of loans. Banks and servicers, unable to produce legitimate mortgage notes and assignments, engaged in robo-signing, mass-producing fake documents signed by employees assuming false identities. Courts accepted these fraudulent documents, allowing banks to foreclose on homes they did not legally own. A lawsuit filed in 2011 by fraud specialist Lynn Simoniak revealed that banks failed to properly transfer mortgage notes into securitization trusts, rendering millions of mortgages defective. This failure violated securities laws, effectively making mortgage-backed securities unsupported by actual mortgages. The lawsuit resulted in a $95 million settlement but exposed trillions of dollars in flawed transactions. Legal and financial consequences of securitization failures. A mortgage consists of two components, the promissory note, the borrower's IOU, and the mortgage, which creates a lien on the property. Banks were required to transfer both to securitization trusts before a strict cutoff date. When they failed to do so, they lacked the legal standing to foreclose. To cover up these failures, banks and document processing companies mass-produced false mortgage assignments, signing them with fake corporate officer titles. Many documents contained errors, including impossible dates and names of defunct companies. The lawsuit provided evidence that thousands of mortgage assignments listed fraudulent entities such as bogus assignee for intervening assignments. The judicial system's role in mortgage fraud. Despite overwhelming evidence of fraud, courts have largely enabled banks to continue foreclosing on homes using fabricated documents. Judges often side with banks, disregarding the fraudulent nature of the evidence presented. According to legal precedent, judgments obtained using false evidence are void from inception, void ab initio. A void judgment lacks legal effect and cannot be ratified. Courts are obligated to verify their jurisdiction and cannot enforce fraudulent rulings. Homeowners who can prove that false documents were used against them may challenge void judgments and reclaim their property rights. Under law, fraudulent mortgage assignments cannot confer legal ownership, making thousands of foreclosure judgments legally unenforceable. Reforming the system and holding banks accountable. Although the 2011 lawsuit exposed massive fraud, banks faced minimal consequences, with settlements amounting to a fraction of the financial harm caused. Private mortgage-backed securities trusts still hold trillions of dollars in improperly securitized loans. This systemic failure continues to impact homeowners, investors, and property transactions. Lynn Simoniak used her settlement funds to establish the Housing Justice Foundation, advocating for reforms in the mortgage system and increased legal protections for homeowners. Efforts to restore property rights must include voiding fraudulent foreclosures, holding banks and servicers accountable, and implementing stricter regulatory oversight to prevent future abuses. Conclusion. By understanding the tax implications of withheld payments, the creation of legal personhood through birth certificates, and the fraudulent practices in the mortgage industry, individuals can reclaim financial and property rights. Recognizing Federal Reserve notes as speculative financial instruments further reinforces the necessity of proper tax reporting. Additionally, awareness of mortgage fraud and judicial corruption enables homeowners to challenge unlawful foreclosures and seek justice through the legal system.